Hi, everyone. This is Grace, and I wanted to share with you some very lovely and very much needed happy mail that arrived last weekend. And, part of it was last week too. So they've been sitting on my desk, and thank you so much for sending these to me, these three women. I don't know if I shared previously, but my health took a really drastic turn for the worst, or worse, towards the end of fall term. And what was amazing, because you know how sometimes we define miracles as supernatural things, but miracles can also be when the timing is just perfect. And so, literally, just as I was finishing the fall term is when my body started to break down. And, thankfully, this is what, I thank God for, was that I was able to get through the final grades. And literally, I submitted grades that morning, and then afterwards, I started to see, the doctors, and it was just like a whirlwind of 1 to 2 weeks. And then things started to settle down a little bit after a month's worth of flurry of activities, going to see doctors, having exams done, and things like that. And so, yeah, this past weekend was about 4 months now since, I feel like I've drastically changed my lifestyle, and I think just it started to weigh down on me. This gives you an indication. I think I just got tired, and you know, in the lull of having spring break and things like that, it gave me the time to just kind of take a step back and really think about the past few months, and I realized that my life goals have drastically changed. The everyday things that I just took for granted have drastically changed. So this was such a small thing, but I was, telling my mother, I was so frustrated with myself and angry with myself. But I was telling her, Mom, it's just so frustrating because I can't even eat the things that I want to anymore. And everything that I eat now, I have to kind of do a quick assessment of, can I eat this? Is it good for me? That kind of thing. And so this gives you an idea of just, how drastic my eating has changed. I can't have bread anymore. No noodles right now. So, people were saying, well, what about like squash noodles? Get creative and do squash noodles. And I totally get that. But at that particular moment this past weekend, I was just frustrated that in order to enjoy noodles, which I love, that I had to take that extra step. You know what I mean? To find a creative alternative, and, and it's not just the noodles, but the noodle dishes. For instance, I can't have fettuccine alfredo anymore, at least not for the time being. Koreans have this black bean paste noodle dish, which is so yummy. I can't have jjajangmyeon right now. So basically, anything with white flour, I can't have. White rice, I can't have. Certainly, fish, meat, anything chicken, pork, beef related, not in my diet. And so, yeah, you guys can imagine, right? So, and then I have really cut down on coffee. I think I have maybe 1 cup of coffee a month, if that. So if I do end up drinking some sort of caffeine, it's with green tea. And so, I mean, I was really good. And I was just so thankful that, I was even able to make lifestyle changes that would be beneficial for my health. But I think after 4 months, I instead of just looking forward with the spring break, I was able to just kind of take a step back and just see what I had gone through and what was ahead of me. And it just made me feel like throwing a big, huge pity party for myself. So, certainly, this letter was This letter from Cathie was very, very much appreciated. Felicia's card was too. And then Debbie, your package arrived, which was a total surprise. And it just, it certainly helped to put like a balm on some very raw emotions that I was going through. So, I think it's just one of those things, that people, our lives are not static. And so we're constantly having to adjust to changes and things like that. And, I'm very fortunate that I am still as healthy as I can be to return to work. I don't know if I've shared this with you all, but these weekly videos on YouTube, even though I like to share Tuesday morning hauls and, Happy Meal and things like that, on some level, they're also my way of making sure that life is as normal for me as possible. So I don't know if that makes sense. These videos then become a way for me to say, hey, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. Everything is okay. God's giving me the strength to get through this. And yeah, so I don't know if I'm making sense, but that's kind of what it is. And it's a really long and, more than anything else, right now, the physical portion isn't as difficult as the mental portion and the emotional portion right now because we've kind of stabilized my health. But now it's, just the battle of, keeping the faith, and I've become like super sensitive to my health. So anytime I cough, I wonder if something's wrong. And you guys know, those of you who deal with chronic illnesses, and I'm hoping that this is just a passing thing. So, yeah, those of you who know, my diagnosis, please continue to pray for me, certainly. And anyway, so Cathie, your letter came at a very great time, and now that I filmed this video, I'm going to actually, whoops, I don't want to share your letter, but I'm going to put this where I can see it, because even though I shared the story, in those low moments, you forget, and in those low moments, that's the last thing on your mind, and you're just kind of delving into pity party and, stuff like that. And I was actually thinking since December when I found out, my family members were all crying, and I don't think I really cried. My thing was just, hey, what do I need to do? What can I do? All right, let's go ahead and do it, and all of those things. And so, seriously, 4 months later, I'm doing the thinking and the processing. And so, yeah, this weekend was the first time I really kind of cried in front of my parents. And yeah, and part of it is you don't want to cry and make them feel helpless. But I think that my crying also helped them know that I was processing too. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, thank you so much for this beautiful, picture that you drew. I love the turtle and I love the little hair. And then I'm going to actually show the inside if you don't mind, Cathie. She writes, yep, encouraged to keep our eyes on the finish line. Thank you again for your thoughtful gifts. And this, to me, it is finished, was such a great reminder that no matter what I'm going through, that's ultimately what I want to be able to say about my life, right? It is finished. So I need to continue to work hard, certainly, and just, live and just appreciate the blessings that God's given me. And certainly, this was so cute. She sent me a little cute, and they're scented too, little paper clips. And so thank you for these, but this was certainly much appreciated. And your letters, oh my goodness, talk about ministering to the soul. I will be keeping your husband in my prayers as well. And can I just say, Cathie, that when you wrote that I was again, on the prayer list, it really just, it was such an encouragement because I had forgotten that I have all these wonderful people praying for me so that God would continue to strengthen me and heal me. So, such a great reminder. So, thank you for that. I know it's so funny too because you send me letters and I have them, but it's like when a new one comes, I'm reminded again. It's like I feel like sometimes I'm that little goldfish, the 2 second attention span. I'm always saying to the older youth kids who are now in college, sometimes they would forget things that I would say, and I would say, "Hey, don't be like that little goldfish. I want you to be really smart and remember everything." So, anyway, so thank you so much, Cathie. That letter was much, much appreciated. This one actually comes to me from Felicia. And Felicia, oh my goodness, do you guys see this? So she took one of those really cool weaving basket dies and she made this. And I love the cherry blossom and the little peep. And she stamped here, Happy Easter, Felicia. And then FP Handmade. I love the cards that Felicia makes. I think her channel is one of those channels that just certainly deserves way more recognition and more subbies than she has. But I'm hoping that more and more people find her and her channel. I mean, she's such a gifted, so beautiful. So thank you so much. And I'm realizing I really like cherry blossoms. So whoops. So she sent me this card, and then she had picked this up. Right now, I'm not really going to Dollar Tree as much, but she found this at Dollar Tree, and how cute is this? And I love the Tsum Tsums, you guys know that. So she picked this up for me. Thank you so much, Felicia. I cannot wait to use these for some projects. So, so cute. So that was Felicia, and then, hold on. And then this package arrived, and I couldn't believe these paper embellishments were glued to the outside of the envelope. But this is from Debbie Williams, and she left me this really, yeah, thank you so much, Debbie, for your note. I won't read it online, but she was telling me that she remembered when I shared my House Mouse Designs haul that I had talked about waffling on getting these, and I had totally forgotten that I had said that. And so, can you imagine my shock when I received these 2 packs? And she said in her note that she took 4 out. I totally would have been okay, Debbie, with you taking, 10 out and then just giving me 1 of each, because these are absolutely adorable. Thank you so much. You guys know I love my house mouse, and what made me laugh, I think I shared this at the Easter card fundraiser. I was asking one of the little kids, how come there's all these like really adorable and very beautifully crafted house mouse cards, but how come not very many people are buying them? And one of the girls cursed and said, Miss Grace, it's because they're mice. And I'm like, yeah, they're really cute mice. What are you talking about? And she's like, no, I think they're a little too realistic. And I was like, what? But again, I think realistic mice look cute too. I think part of it though is because I've never had a rodent problem. So, we had a mice issue at church, and then, they had to call the exterminator in because, it's for hygiene purposes and stuff. But yeah, I'm like that with ants. We have an ant problem every summer at my house. And so when people have like ant stamps or ant paper designs and stuff, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't think ants are all that cute. So, but I love mice. But look. So I wanted to share with you guys just how beautiful these are. Look how gorgeous these designs are. And this is the dimensional cards. And so there's that one. And Debbie was saying she hopes I make some. I will definitely. Let me share with you guys what these look like because they still have this on the house mouse stamp. Hold on. All right, I pulled this out and it actually gives you some directions. It says take the large rectangular image and begin to create the 3D design or scene. You need to use a silicone glue or a glue gel that has some density and thickness to it, or alternatively you can use small to deep foams. I'm planning on using the deep foam pads, but anyway, it says go ahead and blah blah blah. You guys can pause if you want to actually read the instructions. But so here's the thing. Oh, if I can open it, this is what they look like. Do you see that? And so it gives you this sheet, and it's kind of like magazine paper, and you fussy cut it. So the goal is that you would use this and then layer that on top and then layer this on top and then so on and so forth. But I'm thinking it's supposed to look like this, right? But to me, I want to get more out of this than just one 3D card. And so I would probably use this in one card and then this as a separate card and then this as two separate cards. You know how I am, or I can be. Ha ha ha. So this is so cute. Do you guys see this though? I mean, you can cut these out. The goal is to fussy cut them. Those of you who have scan and cut, the Brother Scan and Cut, this would be probably a lot easier. But yeah, how cute would that be? And then you could create a lot of, so cute. Oh look, the little gerbil. Anyway, so you guys get the idea, right? Such cute little images. I actually don't want to use any of them, but I did promise that I would make some cards. The good thing is Debbie sent me 2 of each design, minus the 4th. So I'll be able to create some, and then I want to keep at least one complete set to you know, scan and be able to create more. So I love this guy, this one, little bunny and the mouse. How cute is that? Kind of reminds me of my little Bentley. Anyway, thank you so much, Debbie. This was definitely a surprise and pleasure to see this. And then thank you again, Felicia, for you know, thinking of me as you went shopping and sending me the little Tsum Tsums and this. And then of course Cathie for what has become a weekly letter to me. I really appreciate. And yeah, I just, you know, I think, you know, I kind of tear up when I receive your letters because it just reminds me that I have a great number of people praying for me and rooting for me, certainly. And so Debbie, Felicia, and Cathie, as well as, you know, all of those of you out here in YouTube land who are praying for me, thank you very much. Please continue to keep me in your prayers. We're looking at, I would love to be able to live a full life, you know? I was praying, you know, God, 90 sounds really great. But, you know, how we leave this world is not, you know, in our control. So, yeah, just pray that I will continue to stay strong, continue to stay healthy, and that when I have a spirit of fear, that, you know, 2 Timothy, what is it? Chapter 1, verse 7, that I will remember that I was given a spirit of power, love, and self-discipline, and not one of timidity or fear. So anyway, thank you. I wanted to just share this with you. And yeah, thank you, ladies. These 3 packages came during a time that I really needed to be reminded that, you know, I need to make sure that I stay positive. And I think if it was a short thing, sprinting wise, I would not, it would not be an issue. But yeah, it's going to be a marathon. So, when you run marathons, there are those long, sometimes moments when you just want to give up, or your body's aching and you slow down your pace or whatnot. And I remember when I was in college, the Boston Marathon goes right through my college. Wellesley College is roughly at the halfway point of the Boston Marathon. And I remember as a college student, that was kind of like a big event that all the Wellesley students or whoever wanted to go and cheer the marathoners, we would go and, stand by the road and cheer the marathoners on. And I remember as I was cheering them on my first year there, so amazed that these marathoners were just whizzing by us. And I was thinking, man, these people really train hard because their pace was like my running pace. And they weren't jogging, they were like running, right? And we were cheering and high fiving them as they went by. And what I later found out, because some of these marathoners wrote letters to the college, was that right before they got to our college, there was a big steep hill that would have been really difficult. And I remember one marathoner in particular wrote something to the effect of, that hill was really tough because it was so steep. But in the distance, I could hear the students cheering and yelling for us. And that prompted me to, push forward so that by the time I was passing all of these Wellesley students, I was flying and just so energized. And, like I had no clue that there was this huge hill that these marathoners had to, run, but that they were encouraged and just running at full speed when they came by, our cheering section. And so you guys are like my cheering, squad as I press forward and continue to run this marathon. So hope you guys are doing well. I know that, life is not stagnant for any of us, and there are probably things that you're dealing with too. So I appreciate certainly the concern and reaching out to me. But yeah, thank you so much. It's awesome to know that I have my own cheering squad. People who are cheering for me, sending me good thoughts, certainly lifting me up in prayer and all of those things. So, want to share this with you.